Let's talk about the backstory of Spider-Man 2099, because as his photo shows, he's very different than Peter Parker. So Spider-Man 2099, aka Miguel O'Hara, is going to be one of the Spider-Men in Across the Spider-Verse. Some people think it's Gabriel O'Hara, but that's a whole other video. For the sake of this video, it's Miguel, and he's Spider-Man on Earth 928 in the year 2099. Miguel works as a geneticist at a company called Alchemax, and he's working to recreate Spider-Man in his time. But while at the company, he wants to actually quit because he thinks they're shady. But his boss doesn't want that and drugs him with a drug that actually affects his DNA, genetically addicting him. But Miguel, using his genetic knowledge, tries to change his DNA, and tries to splice samples of his own DNA with his current self. But as you can imagine, things don't go the way they should. His boss actually finds out about this and tampers with the machine, and Miguel actually survives the experiment and becomes severely mutated, turning into Spider-Man 2099. Let's talk about his powers. As you can see in this photo, unlike most Spider-Men, he has fangs and teeth, and they actually serve a lot of purposes. He uses his talons on his hands and feet in combat. Now, unlike our Peter Parker, Miguel actually cannot stick to walls, but he uses his claws on his hands and feet to sort of climb walls in a different fashion than Peter, not sticking. Miguel also has super strength, healing, and agility, and these abilities are actually stronger than Peter Parker's. Another cool ability of Miguel is that he doesn't need web shooters. Similar to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, he actually creates organic webbing. It just shoots right out of his body. But him having all these additional abilities does come at a price. Miguel actually does not have a spidey sense, which is a pretty big downside, but that's why he's stronger, faster, and more durable than Peter Parker is. But let's talk about his suit and tech because he is from the future. I was gonna talk about all the fake science, but essentially the suit just doesn't rip. And fun fact, he made a suit for Day of the Dead. And as you saw in the Spider-Verse post-credit scene, he does have a really cool AI named Lila. Now Miguel also has a bunch of cool villains that are just futuristic versions of our modern day villains. So if there's enough demand, I'll make a whole series covering the villains if you guys want.